The capital rationing is actually a very small one. So what I thought of was, if we can complete it fully, we will take up a little bit of working capital management. But looking at the number of people, let's keep the working capital management for the um, next time. So very quickly, starting with capital rationing, I have one example. Before moving into capital rationing only, let's brainstorm a little bit. Uh, suppose we are investing. Suppose we are investing in one stock. We know when 1 lakh is invested, it gives a return of 12,000. And in another stock, if we invest 50,000, it will give us 7,500 return. Which one would you prefer to invest in? So one stock of costing 1 lakh available, and
Stock 2.
stock two. Okay, and the reason?
That
It
gives
has
15%
a
interest,
Yes,
high rate of return.
absolutely correct. So sometimes, by looking at, when you look at the hard cash, even though the first one is giving us 12,000 in comparison to 7,500 in the second one, still the second one's rate of return is higher. Second one is 15%, the first one is 12% only. So obviously we should go for the second one. So the reason I pointed this out is because sometimes instead of looking at the cash, the amount, we should look at the ratio, the rate, or any denomination which is having the nature of comparison between two figures in it. And having that said, let's complicate the example a little bit. Suppose we have four options. We have 100 rupees in hand. We have four options, and we can invest 50 rupees in one, 45 in two, 30 in three, and 15 in four. And the returns, those will give are 8, 7, 6, and 3 respectively. uh, what do you think? How should we invest? You have you don't have the option of saying, I'll invest in half of two or one third of one. No, if you have to invest in one project, you have to fully invest in it.
So can it be that in one project I'm not just getting one share, but say in decimals I'm getting a little more than one?
Sorry, can you repeat?
I mean that say I'm investing 45 in project 2.
Okay.
Sorry about the background noise. There's elections going on here.
Okay.
So in 45, so the rest of the 5 rupees that I may have in hand, can I also?
No.
Sorry, I don't have 5. I have 55.
No, you can't invest. You can't invest anywhere. Basically, that will be idle with you. For now, that is actually a very good question. But for now, to clarify things, to simplify things rather, let's assume that whatever money will be left with that cannot be used. However, you can use in another project. So suppose you are investing 45 in two, you are left with 55. You can invest in three. You can invest in four, because those are 30 and 15. No, so you can do that, but
Yeah.
you cannot invest outside of these four projects. If that's the condition, then how should we invest?
Either project 3 or 4.
Okay. Are you saying with two, three, and three or four? That's what you're saying?
3 or 4 because I think it gives same return, no? If you're investing 100.
Okay. So two and three or four. That's what you're saying, right? Or just three or four?
I think just 3 or 4.
Okay. Just three or four. Okay. Okay. And if you invest in three, then your investment amount is 30. If you invest in four, your investment amount is 15. And returns are 6 and 3 accordingly. and you're if you are investing in 3, you're left with 70 rupees. If you invest in 4, you're left with 85 rupees. You're not going to do anything with those balance amounts?
We can't invest in the same
No,
again.
no, same cannot be repeated,
So
just once a project. So the
then we'll
solution,
take the best out of 1 and 2.
best out of 1 and 2. So let's take one. Which one should you choose?
Yeah, we'll take one.
1, okay.
It gives 8. Yeah.
So let's take 1 and 3 in 1. Then another option could be 1 and 4. Okay. If you invest in 1 and 3, what is your total investment? 80, am I right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
1 and 4 are 65. Your returns are
Yeah.
accordingly 14 here and 11 here. Any other ideas?
1, 3, and 4.
1, 3, and 4. That's a good idea. 1, 3, and 4. Total investment is 95, right?
95.
95. And your total return is 17. This seems good. The
Yeah.
third one seems good. Any other ideas?
1 and 2. It gives 15.
Okay. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And investment is 95 and gives the return of 15. Okay. Fair enough. Any other ideas?
2 and
2,
3.
3, 4 will give us 16.
Yes. So you said 2 and 3, 2, 3, 4 also can be done. So if we can go for 2, 3, and 4, then why to go for 2, 3 alone? So if we took 2, 3, and 4, the total is 90 and our return is 16. So this is nice brainstorming. This is what I wanted. In fact, this would help us in solving the question also. When we have this kind of option, and trust me, this is a practical difficulty that we will face when we'll have a lot of investment opportunities in front of us, and we need to decide a combination. So we'll have to look for different combinations like this and see which one is the most beneficial to us. If you look at it, the best return we are getting from 1, 3, and 4. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. So obviously we're going to choose 1, 3, and 4. We are going to use this logic in the problem after maybe 2-3 minutes. Before doing that, we today yesterday and today we discussed a little bit about NPV and PI. I'll just repeat that once. NPV was what? Net present value was, we were calculating the present value of all the cash flows, we were totaling that, then we were deducting the initial investment. That's when we were getting net present value. And PI was, as I said, if you remember, you just replace that minus sign with a divide sign. So the present value of the cash flows divided by initial investment, instead of minus, you're just doing a divide. That will give us the profitability index. Now, here is a question that I have for you. If you have understood that correctly, you should be able to catch this. Suppose your initial investment is 10,000. Suppose your initial investment is 10,000. Your NPV for the project is 1,000. What should be the PI, profitability index? Can you tell?
Yeah, we can.
How much then?
0.1.
No, wrong. You're in the right direction, but wrong answer. 0.1
Okay,
is
0.1 into
wrong.
10%.
No, wrong answer. 10% is also wrong.
This profitability index can't be a percent, right? It's a number.
Number only, yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
0.9, is it?
No, not 0.9.
So initial investment minus Um, NPV is no.
I'll just write that down. Sorry, I think it is already written somewhere. I'll just copy paste. Here it is. So I have in front of you the formulas. NPV equals present value of cash flows minus initial investment. PI, profitability index, is equal to present value of cash flow divided by initial investment. Now, one thing that is not given is here is present value of cash flow. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the NPV and initial investment is given. If you take the first equation, NPV equals present value of cash flow minus initial investment, and put the numbers, how should it look like? 1000 equals present value of cash flow minus initial investment. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Initial investment is how much? 10,000. Am I right?
10,000. Yes.
Then how much is
So
present
it will
value
be
of cash flow then?
11,000. PV will be
Yes, not 9,000. That's
11,000.
that mistake, right?
Divided by
So
10,000.
PV of cash flow comes to is equal to
11
11,000.
by
You do 11,000 divided by 10,000, that comes to 1.1. Is that right?
1.1.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So PI equals 11,000 divided by 10,000 equals 1.1. So they will give the information indirectly like this. We'll have to calculate the PI in order to take call. Now, why PI will be relevant? You go back to the first problem, first exercise that we discussed, where we decided that, you know what, instead of looking at the number, we should look at a rate. We should look at something which is comparing two values. PI is the one where we are actually comparing the cash flows with the initial investment. We're not just deducting it. So PI is the best indicator when you are deciding among few projects. We'll see how. Let's go to the question directly. Here is a question. It reads something like this. A company has a budget um, constraint of 3 lakhs. Similar to in my example, which was 100 rupees, no? That's what is given as 3 lakhs here in this case for capital expenditures, and is considering 5 projects. We had 4, now it has 5 using the NPV method. The particulars are as follows. Projects A, B, C, D, E. Project cost is given similar to how it was there in our example, 180, 170, 120, 75, and 60. And then NPV is given as 75, 60, 50, 36, and 30. For each project, if you look at it, suppose for project A, project cost is given as 180, NPV is given as 75. Can you tell me what should be the PI? I'll repeat. For project A, project cost is given as 180, NPV is given as 75,000. What should be the PI?
180
It
by
is 2
75.
lakh 25,000 divided by 1 lakh 80,000.
Perfect. So that comes to 1.25. So we'll have to similarly calculate that for the rest of the projects. So we'll do that in a while. I'll show you. It's already calculated. So assuming that projects B and C are mutually exclusive, all of the projects are independent, select the combination which will maximize the NPV. So this information will interpret a little after. Let's first of all decide on the combinations, and then we will go from there. I'll come back to this sentence and we'll discuss about it a little later. Uh, First of all, like I said, whenever we have this capital rationing question, we should always calculate the PI, profitability index. Reason is amounts are sometimes not sometimes often manipulative. If you look at the amount, suddenly from these amounts, 75,000 looks very good. Am I right? But you don't know that
Yes.
that could be the best project for us or not. We don't know that. We need something in terms of ratios, in terms of such an indicator which is comparing two values, the cash flows to the initial investment. For us here is that item is that calculation is PI, profitability index. So let's do that for every project. Exactly in the similar way, you take initial investment and NPV, you add those two, that gives us the present value of cash flows. You divide that present value of cash flows by the initial investment, that gives us the PI. So PI for the first one is 1.42, second one is 1.40, 1.42, 1.48, 1.50. You know, shockingly look at it, the project with the lowest NPV, 30,000, is giving us the highest PI. What does that mean? The interpretation is, with lesser investment, you are getting more return from it. If you look at it, it's giving us 50% return. By investing 60,000, you are getting 30,000. So never go for amount whenever you are comparing or judging to invest in some businesses. You have some options. Never go for the amount. Always go for the ratios. Ratio, PI, ROE, ROA, and so on and so forth. And, debt equity ratio and all of that. Ratios speak better. If some of you are investing in some of the other businesses, no, in the stock market, you would actually better know that ratios are always preferred when deciding should I invest in this stock or not. Anyways, now that we know PIs for all the projects, and we can rank them according to the PI. So 1.5 is rank 1, D is rank 2, and C and A have the equal PI, so those are rank 3, and the B project is rank 4. Now that we know the ranks, we have to make the combinations. Now have one thing in mind, you have total 3 lakhs. Similar to what we did in our small example, no. If we do the exact same thing, now we have a limit of 3 lakhs. Here we have 5 projects. We have the rank. E is the best one. So we'll definitely take E first. Okay. Suppose we take E. Second rank is what? D, right? Suppose we take D. Now, third rank is what? C. Let's take C also. If we take these three, what is our total investment as of now? 120
So
plus 75 plus
2500
60.
and
255, am I right? Can we?
500.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 2,55,000. So can we invest in any other project? We can't, because we are just left with 45,000, and other two projects are 1,80,000 and 1,50,000. Am I right? Let's make one also find out the NPV. I simply do this. NPV comes to 1,16,000. Am I right? Can you tell me a few more combinations which are plausible? Sorry.
AC.
EA?
EDA, you said? Sorry.
Yeah, it has the same rank.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
just
Let's,
calculating if the total.
yeah. Let's take it up. Make all the combinations that you can in the examination. Make all the combinations you can. See what is happening. EDA
Oh, it
total cost is
exceeds.
going. Yeah. So let's write it down, but let's not take it up at all. So how about anything
Okay.
else? Suppose
AC.
EAC, you're saying?
AC.
Just A and C. Okay. Just A
Yes.
and C. The total comes to this plus this. That comes to exactly 3 lakhs. And when we do the other one,
EB.
that comes to 1,25,000. EAB. Okay. EA and B.
EDB.
Sorry. EDB.
I think EDB.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, EDB. All right. So let's do that. E plus D plus B, that comes to 2,85,000. The return comes to 1,26,000. Good one. This is highest as of now. Any other combinations?
Dheeraj, EDA comes to 3,15,000, right? That can't be possible. Why we have written that? Because
Just
we only.
yeah,
Three
just
lakh
to
limit, right?
yeah, it's not possible because we discussed. So I just retained it, but I didn't total the NPV. So this is
Yeah,
not
yeah.
plausible. This is not plausible. You're right.
Okay.
BC. BC can be considered.
B and C. Yeah. Yeah, good one. So that should be 1 lakh 50 plus 1 lakh 20, and the return is 1 lakh
27.
10,000. Anything else?
BD,
BD. Okay. BD.
AD, BD all can be taken.
Okay. AD and BD. Okay, fair enough. I'll add AD first. Sorry, BD first, and that gives us 96,000. Then I do AD. The that gives me cost of 2 lakh 55 and a cost of, sorry, NPV of 1 lakh 11,000. Any other options?
Seems like all will be lower only, whatever combinations we take now.
Lower only, no. But
Yeah.
in the examination hall, no matter how low it is, write it down, whatever plausible options, because what happens is sometimes we miss out certain things just by doing the
Okay.
calculation in our head. No, we miss out certain, so write those down,
Mhm.
that's not a problem. uh, so after we write down everything, no, uh, so after we write down everything, let's just have a look on it. And before having a look, let's read that sentence once more, which I told we will be going back after a couple of minutes. Assuming that project B and C are mutually exclusive, what does that mean?
B and C cannot come together in any combination. Or?
Yes, yes. So mutually exclusive means both cannot come together. So if B is there, C cannot be there. If C is there, B cannot be there. Any options you can see where B and C are together? This one. So this is not plausible. I'm deleting the NPV part. This is not plausible at all. So others are definitely can be done. And from that, which one is the highest? Highest NPV? EDB. Am I right?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is
Yes.
the solution only. That's exactly how we will solve in the examination hall, how we did now, the approach in which we did now. It's very simple. If you just know the logic, how to do it, how to have a rank in mind, and when you are making the combinations, have the rank in your head. First few should be considering all the first 1 2 3 rank projects. Now here you can highlight like this how we have solved, just to have a kind of structured solution. For each of the combinations you can mention, like for E this much of initial investment, this much of NPV. For D, this much of initial investment, this much of NPV. So the total comes to this. So exactly same thing we have done here. This format is nothing but how we have totaled just in one cell. They have this presentation is just showing, what, for E the initial investment this much, NPV this much, D this initial investment this much, and NPV is this much, and so on and so forth, and the total comes to this value. So EDB combination is the best one, which is here for us, how we have done it. And there are other combinations also. AC we have 1 lakh 25, which is the second highest, and then we have 1 lakh 16,000, that is EDC in our options here. So you can make as many combinations as possible. The highest NPV should be selected. As easy as that. Any doubts until this point? Otherwise, I'll complicate a little bit. There is one more thing.
Just one, Dheeraj. Since we have say 5 projects, so whatever combinations possible, we have to write all of them down and then select which are not exceeding our budget, right? Because
Correct.
then it will be some 5C1 plus 5C2 plus 5C3 number of combinations.
Yeah.
That would amount to a
You're
lot of.
right. You're absolutely right. You can actually exclude the absolutely not possible combinations from the list, because when we look at it, somebody will say A, B, C, D, E. That should be also a combination. But that doesn't make any sense, right? It would
Yeah, yeah.
obviously be more than 3 lakh. So let's not make that. So you can obvious combinations you can exclude. Just take out
Okay, okay,
the most plausible ones, and whichever is possible, and go for that.
okay.
Yeah. Anything else, guys? If not, Then
So one question. So
yeah, yeah,
so when you do start off with the combination, should we start with the rank one and
yes,
then
yes.
that is the deal, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So mostly the combination that will be chosen, the ranks will be the first and second, and also third rank might also be selected. So the reason for that is in the logic only, because your PI is higher there. That means with lesser investment you are getting more money. With lesser investment you are getting more money. A higher PI means that only. So obviously that will be automatically be part of it. When you know logically that one project will be automatically be part of your final combination, why not to start with that only, you know? So make a base from that and add things from that. So if you look at it, how people said the combination was very nice. So EDC was rank 1 2 3, EDA was rank 1 2 3, AC was rank 3 and 3. EDB was rank 1, 2, and 4. So can you see the trend? 1, 2 are always there. You're just changing here and there and selecting 3 at one point of time, 4 at one point of time. There were two different projects in third position. So you took both of them separately and so on and so forth. So you can do that definitely.
Okay.
But if you'll ask me, is it absolutely impossible that rank 1 and 2 will not be there in our final combination? No, that is not impossible. Definitely there could be a question where the numbers could be structured in such a way that even though rank 1, rank 2 are coming as per the PI, those will not be selected in the final combination. It all depends on the scenario. So for that you'll have to see all those combinations only.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Now my further, let me complicate this a little bit. Okay, in this example only, suppose you can invest in a proportion of the project. I'll repeat that question. Suppose you can invest in the proportion of the project. Suppose you will say, you know what, I won't invest in 1,20,000 of C. I will invest just half of it. Only 60,000 I'll invest in it. That is suppose possible. Before this, I was saying that was not possible. Now I'm saying that is possible. A technical word they say is it is the projects are divisible. When they say projects are divisible, that means you can invest in a proportion of it. Suppose I would say only one third of the project I will invest in, not the full amount. If that happens, will anything change? That's my first question. What do you think?
Yeah, the remaining amount from the uh, most plausible project combination of projects, we can invest in the next plausible one.
Correct, absolutely correct. And here, suppose we start thinking about that. We had selected EDB as of now. We have invested 285. We are left with 15. Where should we invest that 15? E is gone, D is gone, and B is gone.
A and C are the same rank, so we can invest in either, right?
In either. Okay. So you think and nothing else should be changed?
NPV should be considered.
That is a nice way of thinking, but not NPV, something else. You're in the correct direction, just the item you are incorrect about, not the NPV. Something else we'll see. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, suppose like she said, let's add A in this. So EDB, and a portion of A, whatever portion it is, and our investment total is 3 lakhs. What is the return? Can somebody tell me? 1,26,000 plus. So in
Plus
A,
15 by 75.2.
yes, into 15,000. I made some mistake. 1 second. Yeah, this is right. This is right. So, did everybody understand what I did? So, from A, we are getting NPV of 75,000 by investing 1,80,000. Now we are investing only 15,000, right? So I just simply did 75,000 divided by 1,80,000 into 15,000. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I added that to a EDB NPV that we were getting, which was 1 lakh 26. Now it is coming to 1 lakh 32 250. Obviously, this is higher. Now, do you think this should be the highest, or can there be anything else? Let's just try. Okay, the first one, EDC. EDC are the first, second, and third options. Let's add A there. Okay, E, D, C, and A. Total investment is obviously 3 lakhs now, because we are able to invest proportion. What I'll do is I'll simply add this plus. I'm left with 45,000, right? I'm left with 45,000. From A,
Yes.
I'll do the exactly same thing. 75,000 divided by 1,80,000 into 45,000. See what happened?
Because both of them are better ranks than taking the fourth rank and one third rank. We can take two third ranks.
What you meant to say, I totally understand. You are absolutely right. And you just messed it up a little bit, but you are absolutely right. What happened is, when you are going for proportions, no, PI is the best one. Go for PI. Because in PI, what it is doing is the ranking is in such a way that with less amount of investment, you are getting more return. If you can do proportion, always go for PI. That will give you the highest. I'm telling you, this combination will be the highest. Nothing else will be more than this. EDC and A, this should be the highest. Let's try a few more. Okay, let's try this one. 125 it was earlier. Let's try this one. So this is already 3 lakhs, so we can't. Sorry. So this is already 3 lakhs. This is not going to increase. Which is the high next one? AD is the next one. 45,000 is left. 1 lakh 11,000. Okay, AD. What should we take? The next one, E. Shall we take E?
Yeah, yeah, E.
A, D, and E. So investment is 3 lakhs. I'll do 1 lakh 11 plus E investment is 60,000, from which we are getting 30,000 return. So I'll do 30,000 divided by 60,000 into 45,000. That comes to 1 lakh 33. Can you see? It'll never be more than that one, EDCA. Are you able to get the logic of how the moment the proportion thing is introduced, the value of PI becomes very much more? So a PI combination will always be highest. If you go by just PI, 1, 2, 3, whichever is plausible, whatever balance amount, go for fourth rank. Always go for the highest ranks. That will give you the highest amount of NPV. Any doubts?
So this is why it is necessary to write down all possible combinations, so that next in the next step we can add the next best
Yeah,
possible
yeah.
thing. And
So in question they will not give this as a second option, saying that what if projects are divisible, what should be your answer be. The next question that we are going to look at right now, in that from the beginning itself they'll tell that the projects are divisible. So from the beginning of the question itself, that projects are divisible, so you can simply go for the PI first.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So but yeah, definitely more number of options if you write it is less risky of missing out a particular combination which could be highest, right? So better we go for at least 5, 6, or 7, 8 combinations and write those down one by one. Yeah. And any other doubts, guys? Okay. Now that we have done this, let's move on to the next example. So here is the other one. Determine the optimal project mix on the basis of the assumption that projects are divisible, which I was mentioning just now. Project A, B, C, D, E, 1 lakh, 3 lakh, 50, 2 lakh, 1 lakh, NPV, 20, 35, 16, 25, 30. Always have that in mind. The first third exercise, third brainstorming that we did, when the initial investment and NPV is given, we can calculate the PI, profitability index. Slightly indirectly that can be calculated, but that can be. You just add the initial investment and NPV, that gives us the present value of the cash flows. You divide that by the initial investment. Same thing has to be done here also. Total fund available is 3 lakhs. Again, 3 lakhs is needed. How much of total is available, so that we know the constraint. Determine the optimal combination of projects, assuming that the projects are divisible. Now, can somebody calculate the PIs and tell me how much is the PI for ABCDE very quickly? Do the calculation yourselves. When we are here and we are solving questions together, no, it seems very easy, but what happens is, right now if I'll ask you something about IRR, you won't be able to recall. I mean, most of you, few of you are practicing nicely. I'm pretty sure they'll get it. But if I'll ask you a little bit detail about IRR, you won't be able to tell, because practice is very important. At least here, when we are in together in these discussions, you can just have a pen and paper and do some calculations with yourselves. And if you do formally properly solve the question, that's even better. You know. But do that practice. All right, have you guys started? Anybody with answers?
A would be 1.2.
Perfect.
B
Next.
would be
1.1.
11.2.
1.1.
Perfect.
C is 1.3.
1.3. Perfect.
D will be 1.12.
Perfect.
Okay, 1.1.
Yeah,
E will be
1.3.
1.3.
1.3. Perfect. That's all right. Decimal places 1.0, 1.02 difference. That's not a big deal. So that happens because of the rounding only. Anyone getting stuck here while calculating the profitability index?
No.
All right, I'll take that as a no. So